Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever Ember wanders near.
So why don't we look at, let's see, Rev put out a video. I do not know what this is. It's called Directive 8020. It's another one of those, like, IGN rates it 8 out of 10, but apparently it's a dead game. So, I mean, it's a point and laugh, so I'm down. So why don't we take a look at this latest glorious failure in the gaming industry, shall we? Yeah, let's take a look.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So it might only be May, but there's already been a very large number of flops in the gaming industry for the year 2026, and the latest entry to that list is Directive 8020. As you can see, it has an 8 out of 10 from IGN, which at this point means absolutely nothing, but it sounds very familiar, because in 2026, Directive 8020 joins a long list of games that have extremely high ratings and praise from games journalists and shills on social media. However, when rubber meets the road and this game actually goes out, well, the numbers are abysmal. It's joined the ranks of other 2026 flops like 1348 Ex Voto, Mixtape, Relooted, and Aphelion. All games that on their face were obvious flops. I mean, anyone could have seen this coming in each circumstance we're looking at. But of course, Directive 8020 is just another example of that. The writing was on the walls, but
by the way, the Mixtape one, guaranteed a lot of that were streamers. Mixtape only got 2,200 all-time peak because of the notoriety and because so many streamers played it on their stream to go, this really can't be as bad as we thought, is it? And that is probably making up the bulk of the number here. It's one of those so bad, I've got to play it on stream.
It was ignored, and the company pushed
Well, I
through.
tried.
And with this game in particular, I think it's kind of sharing some dynamics with multiple games on this list, beginning with Mixtape, which, as we know from the last couple of days, was a major flop, despite overwhelming praise from games journalists, including a 10 out of 10 rating from IGN, and 10s and 9s basically.
Yeah, look at this. Look at the shells come out. This is what I was talking about before. How basically every single games journalist, like distributor or publisher, we already knew this, but now they absolutely just broadcast it to the world that nobody should listen to them. Like every single one of these publishers, these quote unquote journalism publishers, every one of them just self-reported that they got paid for reviews. Every single one of them. This is a massive level of self-report that they basically showed their ass and said, pay us money and we'll give you stunning reviews.
Across the board, hinting that this was some kind of generational game, but the numbers, of course, did not pan out. This game also reminds me of Aphelion that released only a few weeks ago, but as you can see, has 28 in-game players. And the reason why a lot of people are comparing Directive 8020 in this game is because they share a similar theme, especially when it comes to protagonists. They have almost a one-to-one comparison between the protagonists here. Bald,
holy crap,
black
they're
women
almost identical.
Who are astronauts. I mean, this theme clearly is not working, and yet these studios are still going with it. And when it comes to Directive 8020, this is no small indie project. This is a pretty significant game from a studio that many consider possibly a AAA studio given its size. So what went wrong here? Because the trailer had some pretty decent reception. I mean, 500,000 views posted a year ago. And yes, there is a decent volume of dislikes, but we've seen a lot worse, right, ladies and gentlemen? But yeah, this game came out with an 8 out of 10 from IGN, which is, again, not really meaning that much these days,
How
but
much did they pay
look at
for
the
it?
overall reviews for
Holy shit. Good lord. 9.5s, 9s, 8.5s, 8s. What the fuck? Like, I mean, I don't know why I'm acting shocked. It's been known for a long time that every single one of these Games journalists are completely paid. I honestly don't know why I'm acting so surprised. This is expected. This is absolutely expected by the modern gaming journalist industry because nobody gives a shit about them anymore. So they've got to make money somehow because no one's actually going onto their websites and reading any of their reports. So this is probably how literally all of these game journalist companies are only able to make money right now, is to basically get paid for reviews.
Directive 8020. Really strong. You would think this is another extremely good game, but then the launch happens. And right now it's sitting at an all-time peak of 3,000 players, which again, for a studio this size, is nightmarishly bad. And even worse is the reviews on Steam. It's sitting at a sub 50% rating. This is absolutely...
Yeah. Rudy, you're right. Like, between this game and Mixtape, it just showed exactly why people are getting their game reviews, movie reviews, TV reviews, literally all of their entertainment reviews from YouTubers. Not even just streamers. They don't really get it from streamers. They get it from YouTubers. Because the YouTubers are not beholden to a corporation. The YouTubers are beholden to their audience. And so if the YouTubers basically give a review that deliberately shills for something, and it's actually a piece of shit, the viewers that are the ones that pay their bills with the ad revenue will immediately go, well, this person got this dead ass fucking wrong. They're clearly being paid, so I'm never going to watch them again, and they move on to someone else. So it is in the best interest of the YouTubers to just be flat out honest in their reviews, because when they're flat out honest, people will keep coming back to keep partaking of their reviews on given entertainment product. And so in the modern day, YouTube reviewers are effectively the most honest source of critique or praise regarding a given entertainment product in the modern day.
Absolutely brutal, ladies and gentlemen. And looking at the charts, it's pretty much peaked out for day one. It came out a few hours ago as of recording this video, and it's flatlining at 3,000 players. I can tell you this, I don't know their budget for sure, but it certainly wasn't going to be covered by 3,000 concurrent players on launch. This is a really bad start. But then again, just looking at this game from its cover alone, a lot of people could have told you this was coming. Now, of course, we got to talk about the studio behind it, Supermassive Games. Like I said, at the very least, people consider this the higher end of AA studios, or even in the AAA studio range in terms of its size and its budget when it comes to the games it produces. And this is a studio that is woke, and they've always been woke. Okay, looking into this studio, it seems like they have a pretty clear set of priorities. They come out every year and make their pride posts, and even proudly say that some of their games are on Pride Site's list for the best LGBTQ plus games of 2022.
Kiss of death these days.
Of course, they do the thing, right? On June 1st.
Honestly, companies, corporations, I'm telling you right now, this June, do not do anything for Pride. If you're a corporation, if you are a company, I know you're not going to listen to a stupid anime girl on Twitch. But come June, you want to know how you can make bank? Don't do a fucking thing for Pride. Do absolutely nothing for Pride. Why? Because the average customer is done with Pride. The average paying customer, the average consumer is absolutely fucking done with Pride. They want nothing to fucking do with it anymore. And to more than a few of them, they view Pride as an attack on them. So if you want to actually make fucking money this year, do not do a fucking thing with Pride this year. Don't even acknowledge its existence. Business as usual. Do what's right for the customer and ignore Pride entirely. Do that, you'll actually make money.
Every year, they switch their profile to the rainbow to show everyone that they're an ally, but then you go to their website too. They're a proud partner of various groups, including
Of course.
Out Making Games, which, as you can see, is a non-profit organization empowering LGBT.
Non-profit. Sure it is. Let me get a forensic accountant on their books to see if it's actually non-profit. Because you know, all of these DEI, LGBT, fucking quote non-profits, none of them are non-profits. They're 100% going in someone's fucking pocket. This is a fucking embezzlement scheme, hands down.
LGBTQ plus professionals within the gaming industry. We strive to create a more inclusive and diverse gaming landscape through programs, partnerships, events, education, and advocacy, fostering a community where everyone's identity is celebrated and their contributions are valued. Are you sure?
Translation, we care more about virtue signaling than actually putting out a good game. Meaning that this is like, yeah, this is another SBI. So if you see Out Making Games is involved in any game, you should avoid it like the plague. Good to know.
That everyone's identity will be celebrated in this sort of landscape? Yeah. But they continue on saying, join us in shaping a gaming industry where diversity thrives, whether you're seeking
No one
community,
cares.
able to sponsor our mission, or want to learn more about our impact. Your support makes a world of difference. Visit sponsorship pages to see how, together, we can champion LGBTQ plus voices and promote mental health awareness in gaming. Obviously,
Nobody believes you. Absolutely no one with even half a brain believes anything in this mission statement. You're scamming money. You're embezzling money from either your investors or from the government, wherever you're receiving money, and it's going into a select few individuals' pockets. Hands down. They're stealing the money, I guarantee it.
very stunning and brave, but a lot of this makes sense when you start looking at the reviews and who it's coming from. So you can see IGN with their 8 out of 10, giving Directive 80/20 a very strong rating. But who wrote this article? Well, this individual named Leanna Hafer, which, as pointed out here, is the same non-binary IGN reviewer that scored Dragon Age The Veilguard a 9 out of 10. Let's just give this clip a listen together.
Team of interesting and endearing companions, complex, memorable, likable, distinct personalities from across Thetis.
That's Leanna Hafer. That's him right there. That's him. Basically changing his name to a girl's name and pretending that he doesn't actually have a gender just to basically say, look at me, I'm special. Is anyone surprised that he gave Dragon Age a 9 out of 10? That's not a she. That's not a she. That's a he. You were just hearing his voice. I'm pretty sure you were just hearing his voice in this video. Listen again. Listen again.
Flip a listen together.
Team of interesting and endearing companions, complex, memorable, likable, distinct.
Are you able to hear it, or is the volume too low? I can up the volume a little bit. Hey, I'll up the volume a little bit for this part.
and endearing companions of complex, memorable, likable, distinct personalities from across Thetis. I was very pleased with the character designs too. The armor and outfits are fabulous. I spent more than an hour in the character creator. This might be some of the best looking hair I've ever seen in a video game. As a
Yeah.
non-binary person
That's a
myself,
man,
Vanguard
man.
includes some of the most authentic representation
Yeah.
of
So you have a man that changed his name to a woman's name and claims to be non-binary. Someone needs to go into the padded box. Because clearly this person has a psychosis that does not know what the hell he is. Eesh. And yes, but the character generator in Dragon's Age would not let you have nice tits or a big booty if you picked a woman. Yes, that it's like there was some good detail work, but in terms of physical shape, you couldn't have a nice ass and you couldn't have nice tits.
gender stuff and having to navigate your family's reaction to it. It doesn't feel like an after-school special or like I'm being pandered to. Finding out that the writer for this character is non-binary themselves did not surprise me at all. If we never get another Dragon Age,
Yes.
at least it got to go out on a high note.
Absolutely
didn't.
amazing stuff. It comes as absolutely no surprise that jingling the diverse keys in front of an individual like
Yep.
this will end up with a 9 out of 10 rating for Dragon Age the Veilguard. So it comes as little surprise that Directive 8020 and the type of people behind it and their initiatives would also get a very high rating for what seems to be a very
That's the ever-loving point, is this individual was saying, if this is the last Dragon Age, at least it gets to go out on a high note, and it went out with a wet start. That's the funniest part of it.
lackluster game, because not only is the number of players extremely low, the reviews are terrible. Okay, below 50% on day one. That is rough. But you can see their verdicts on Directive 8020 saying, I've been a big fan of the dark pictures since the very beginning, despite their quirks and shortcomings, and Directive 8020 is a chilling and impressive start to the second season of the anthology. The effective deep space setting, smart writing, strong performances from the main cast, and a tense, if a bit overused, new stealth mechanic are the highlights. Very interesting stuff. How did that turn out? Not very good. And you can see the launch trailer that was posted only a few hours ago is getting destroyed. I mean, first of all, the apathy, only 14,000 views in 4 hours, but also a near 50-50 like to dislike ratio, and the comments are brutal, as expected. Saying the thumbnail told you everything
that was a
you
terrible
needed to know.
thumbnail.
That thumbnail is hilarious. Can't wait to be wiped out. Can't wait to wiped out the characters. DEI in space. I don't know about humanity, but I will certainly be saving me a few quid. I'll wait until it goes on sale to 65% in the future.
Which that future is going to be in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, this game is probably going to be 65% off. If 2 weeks.
Gonna make all the wrong choices, that's for sure. Rip team and probably me too. Was that the best thumbnail they could have used? Maybe I missed it, but how in the world can you visit a foreign planet without firearms? Might as well travel to the moon without oxygen. The thumbnail is funny AF. Reminds me of Five Nights at Freddy's. Absolutely amazing stuff. The thumbnail really seemed to win over a lot of people. That's amazing when the #1 comment in your launch trailer is the choice of thumbnail. You know you got a real Game of the Year potential on your hands.
Yeah, like what the? This one right here in the thumbnail. What the fuck am I looking at here with this? Is this AI? Like, look at the eyes on this guy. The eyes look so wrong. I almost have to wonder, were they trying to do a look like a Clockwork Orange? This one in particular, I see this face. I'm thinking they're trying to do Stanley Kubrick and trying to do like the cover for A Clockwork Orange. It looks all kinds of wrong. Looks like they're being taken up. Yeah, okay. On the left side of their face, yeah. What's the excuse for the right side of their face? Okay, if you're gonna say that only about the left side of the face, like I could agree, it looks like they're being taken over by some kind of force. What's the excuse for the right side here with this guy's eyeball? Like you're seeing, like, what the fuck? This looks terrible.
Right there. But of course, the journalists are glazing this up, saying it is a new gold standard for supermassive games, which I don't really know what I'm supposed to take from that. Is that supposed to be some big statement? I don't really know. But what I do know is that this game is off to a terrible start. In fact, I would say it's dead on arrival. I don't think there's any chance this game is turning anything around at this point. I think everyone looking at this objectively can realize this is another game that comes from a studio with whack priorities. They care more about diversity and inclusion than providing a good gaming experience. And also, this is a game that just looks bad on its face. If you grabbed a random gamer and pushed this concept in front of them, they would tell you this was going to fail, right? It's really that obvious to everyone except for these studios, I guess. But then again, when you're mired in identity politics and all this woke stuff, you really lose track of what's actually going to appeal to your real target audience when you're...
Well, because they have no target audience. Their target audience is the mythical modern gaming, and their entire brand is virtue signaling to the mythical modern audience that does not actually exist. The ironic part here is they're marketing to people that don't play games. All of these games that we've been seeing failing abysmally, like the whole list that Rev had up at the beginning of the video, they're not marketing to gamers. They're marketing to people who don't play games, who don't spend them money. Why? Because I think that they are hoping they can affect social change. That I think is still the goal of all of these, DEI games, all of these bridge games. Is they are still trying to, they're not trying to expand their audience. They're trying to affect social change. The problem is that they're marketing to an audience who doesn't play games. The ones that do play games, which is the paying customer, which is the one that pays their bills, are like, I don't want this shit. And I'm not going to change either. And they're not going to, they probably think themselves, like they probably laud themselves as being this great, like, social zeitgeist masters that can basically bring about a new era of change to society and turn it into the utopia a la fucking Star Trek. I don't know. And that's not how reality works. The reality works is the studio is going to shut down and everybody working on this project is going to be out of a fucking job. That's the reality of it. They just don't want to accept it. And I'm fine with that. They can be out of a job. I save money by not buying their shit games. They lose their jobs and they go put the fries in the bag. Something they might actually be good at.
They're so distracted by the modern audience. This
They
is
can
another...
blame... The devs going to blame the audience for their game failing? Yeah, they probably will. And the funny part is, doesn't matter. The game, like, people, people will do, people like Rav and Nat will do stories like about the devs blaming their audience and so on. It always happens. The truth is, it doesn't matter. The devs can blame the audience for their game failing all they want. They could say, oh, the review bombers, the haters were review bombing us. That's why we're failing. None of it matters. Reviews don't matter. Because I'll let you in on a little secret. Most gamers, people that play video games, don't read reviews. By and large, the majority of actual paying customers in the gaming industry don't even look at reviews in the first place. You know what they look at? They look at a trailer. They look at gameplay footage. They look at that to go, okay, does this look like something I might be interested in? And if it is, they'll buy the game. If it's not, they'll move on. The reviews, they don't give a shit about. You know who cares about the reviews? People like the developers and people like us who talk about it on social media for a living. We are the only ones that give a fuck about the reviews. The actual gamers don't fucking care. They don't even look at them. They'll either say, okay, this looks like something I want to play. They'll play the game and they'll either like it or they won't like it. Or they'll pass on it in the first place and say, no, this doesn't look like it's it for me. It's on it, like, making a big to-do in like news spaces about, devs blaming. It's the same thing with Hollywood too. Same thing, like Hollywood movies is a little bit different because Hollywood, it's like you get a trailer and that's it, and you don't get anything more until you actually go into the theater and watch the movie. So it's a little bit different from the game, because with the game you can see a trailer, you can see actual gameplay, which is the big drive for it in the first place. But like all of these like companies that blame the haters for their failure is all bullshit, because the actual paying customers don't look at the reviews in the first place. And it's all cope. It's all cope, and people like Rev and even people like myself, we're just farming off of it to make for funny content. That's the only reason why we give a shit about it. Paying customers, they don't care. They're never going to care.
Example of the modern audience being the focus, and another example of that concept failing miserably. This game is dead on arrival, and I am not surprised. Really, nobody looking at this objectively is surprised whatsoever. But that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, consider giving this video a like. Also consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads on this channel, as well as multiple live streams a week here on YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, just another in a long line these days of just shit games. It's that we haven't had much coming out lately that's been good, have we? And the ones that have been the good ones that have been coming out, you guys reckon, have you guys seen the pattern I've been talking about? The games that have come out lately that are good, that people enjoy, guess who they're made by? Indie studios. All of the games coming out now that people are loving and people are enjoying, they're all indie games. They're not corporatized games. They're indie games. You may have a sprinkling here and there of one or two like corporate games, like from a AAA studio, that are good, but predominantly speaking, it's the indie studios that have a stranglehold on the industry now. As I said, this is the time for the indie studios to rise, and they are, and I'm loving every minute of it.